That was a video of Capitol police officers who had served on January 6th at the Capitol building, snubbing Mitch McConnell and Kevin McCarthy. Awesome. Now, this happened again during a ceremony where congressional gold medals were awarded to the officers that held back the MAGA mob that was literally chanting to hang the vice president. You know, Mike Pence. I hear people call him Mike. Hang Mike Pence. But I'm sure, of course, as right-wingers say it, they were just chanting, hang my pants. Come on. No, what they did, of course, is they smashed windows, they smeared feces all over the walls, stole government property, for example, Nancy Pelosi's laptop, and were trying to hunt down members of Congress. Some of them had zip ties and were trying to take them hostage. Luckily, that did not happen because you had the Capitol Police that were the only reason that members of Congress were not harmed that day. And yet, here we had members, 21 House Republicans, members of Congress, who voted against awarding the medals to the officers. Now, that said, Mitch McConnell, not a member of the House. Mitch McConnell's a senator. He didn't vote against awarding the medals, that, as far as I know. Well, what's the snub? Why is the snub? Well, because he voted to acquit Trump during his impeachment trial. That's my guess. He has showed absolutely no spine, even when Donald Trump would attack his wife, Elaine Chao, who served as Trump's transportation secretary until she resigned on January 6th as a result. And Mitch McConnell is also incredibly weak when it comes to actually holding Donald Trump accountable. He'll say things, but that's all it is. They're just words. They don't mean a damn thing, which is why I'm going to show you again why he deserved this to happen. In slow-mo. Sad turtle noises. So, now, next to him, of course, was Kevin McCarthy. So Kevin McCarthy, also someone who shows absolutely no spine when it comes to Trump. Now, first, he went after Trump for inspiring January 6th. Then just weeks later, he went crawling on his hands and knees, Mar-a-Lago, Donald Trump, begging for forgiveness. They're all cucks for Trump. And it's absolutely embarrassing. If you're a Republican, how is that not embarrassing? Get on your knees for Donald Trump. Crawl around. Crawl to Mar-a-Lago. Beg for forgiveness. It's sad. It's so pathetic. These are the people, by the way, when it comes to cops, they're all about back the blue. Oh, thin blue line. We got to protect the cops. We love the police. These are the people that would say that they would literally suck the leather off the boots if you're a cop. But it turns out the only reason they love cops is when they're beating the hell out of minorities. That's it. Or when they're kidnapping journalists off the streets during racial justice protests so that they can do mass arrests for people that weren't involved in the violence or the vandalism and get away with it. That's what they would do. Again, they would pull up in their vans and just abduct people off the street and then drop them off somewhere else after giving them a ride. Turns out Republicans love those police officers, but when it comes to the Capitol, no. Because in the Capitol building, well, they actually ended up doing something against MAGA, against white MAGA chuds. And when that happens, well, they're all about crying about, oh my God, big government tyranny. We hate it. The cops, oh, we don't like the cops anymore. There's the double standard that you have. And you can see it. We can all see it. And by the way, the police also see it. These cops that were at the Capitol, they were in no way liberal. Okay. They're not lefties. They're not progressives. They're conservatives. Because law enforcement is usually filled to the brim with conservatives. But at this point, even they've realized that MAGA has become both violent and unhinged. And partly because of Donald Trump emboldening the MAGA extremist elements that have always existed, by the way. And that includes like the militias, the anti-government people, especially the right-wing conspiracy theorists. And now that part of the Republican base, well, they're a legitimate threat to law enforcement. And and remember, these law enforcement officers are like, look, we signed up to protect the Capitol, maybe bust some libs, black people, whatever. We didn't sign up to get targeted by insane insurrectionists. What are you doing? And it's funny in a way because the extremists on the right, a lot of them believe that the police would be on their side. We're just going to let them stroll into the Capitol building and do whatever they want. And that did not go as planned. And then when they pushed back, again, after the surprise, because the police actually did their job, they held their ground, they did what they, were supposed to do, the Chuds then went on a rampage. And it's just funny how that worked out, except that it wasn't actually funny. Now, that said, since the Capitol riots, we've seen a lot of excuses as to why, police at that point were outnumbered. Some of them even went to blame Nancy Pelosi for not, blocking the House Sergeant at Arms. And there's, lies about Donald Trump ordering people into the Capitol. Didn't actually happen. The House Sergeant at Arms, who sits in the Capitol Police Board, opted not to request the National Guard ahead of the insurrection, but did eventually request assistance after the rioting had already begun, but it took a while to get there. There were so many different failures here in this case that allowed the MAGA insurrectionists to get into the Capitol building itself. That said, MAGA didn't expect, the cops didn't expect the insurrection. They were woefully unprepared. Despite numerous warnings, they could not believe that white right-wingers would do something violent, even though when it comes to domestic terrorism in this country, who leads? White-wing extremists. So, did I say right-wing? White right-wing extremists, but it's all the same, really. And here's the thing: Capitol rioters didn't expect the cops to fight back, at least to the point of what they did. The thing about that, though, is a lot of us on the left, we did see this coming. We know who the violent ones are. We told you that Trump and his cronies were dangerous. We said that the right wing, the far right, is the real danger. Not the so-called far left, that in this country, the far left wants healthcare for everybody. That's dangerous far left, wanting healthcare for everybody. Oh my God. They saw that as a real danger, but in reality, the right wing, the far right, has always been the danger in this country. They are the domestic terrorists, literally. Look up the FBI statistics on it. Now, what we see here from, this SNUB, which was fantastic to watch because it's a great, video to watch, McConnell get all like sad and pathetic. But also it does kind of show you that these police officers, some of the people in law enforcement that had to face down that mob that day, well, they're starting to understand that, oh, turns out it is the right wing, the far right, that's the problem. And we're not going to, shake hands with anybody that continues to either run cover for them or embolden them. And I think that's a positive step